Welcome to our program Weekly News. As we know that our program it's resuming all the news that during all the week. Weekly News today is coming from Ankara Natural TV. Like that we will see a lot of details with Islam. Thank you so much. So let's continue our news today actually with you, Islam. I'm so happy to discuss this title actually. It's increasing number for 47 get heavy life in military academy in this case actually. Do you have some details, or when we talk about number and something like that we focus on the statistic actually? Do you have some details about it?
Thank you, Miss Aisha, to give me this opportunity. It's a really prestigious program to talk on this weekly news analysis program. Yeah, you asked me about this heavy life in military academic case. You know, this in Turkey they face a very big problem in 2015, 2016, the military coup against the civilian government, 15 July. And in that case, you know, this more than 200 people killed by the military, I mean, in the street, and also more than 2,000 people they were injured by this attack. So after this issue, you know, there's so many soldiers, especially military, there were security personnel from Turkey who were involved with the military coup against the civilian government. They were arrested, and the judiciary are now investigating those kind of cases who did this kind of incident in that time of military coup. So out of this incident, or out of this investigation, so many people were arrested, and you know, this 47 people there now we got the case, I mean the solution, or we got the result from the court of Turkey. They said, I mean the judges, they announced the cases, the results. They said the 47 people, they will get the life imprisonment in the jail. Even out of them, you know, 90 people they will get the imprisonment. Even the other people, they will also get some heavy punishment. So this kind of is still process. I mean, you know, there are also a lot of people, they are going to get this kind of result of what they did in the time of military coup. So this is like the process. This is the process. That's what shows the Turkish judiciary system, and it also shows like the time in 2016 how the military coup happened, and what is going on now through in a judiciary system, through for justice and for the people what they did, and the soldiers or the military personnel what they did in the time of coup.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Islam, as we knowing, everybody know that recently Turkey is suffering from economic crisis, and especially with the bank and a lot of economic crisis actually. So do you think that it has a plan for past this problem actually?
Yeah, of course, like for any country in the world, if they are fall in a crisis, or whatever it is, economic, political, or socio or cultural crisis, of course they are taking so many initiatives, and Turkey is not exceptional in this case. You know, Turkey is taking so many initiatives to tackle their economic crisis. Even Turkey is try to resolve their problem. If you see their news, there's Turkey, they are taking so many improvements. I mean, like to build up their economic and to reform their economic system, even also in some area. For example, like if you see this, the Anadolu Post news, it is said the Turkish economic confidence is now is ongoing process. I mean, the level is rising. Even the fact, you know, if we see the last 2 weeks ago news, it said the Turkish international investment, they are trying to increase their investment policy for their banking system. Even they are taking the money, which I mean liquid money, from the people to increase their reservation, and if the reservation is increasing, automatically the economic, especially the value of the lira, the value of the lira will increase. So this is the issue, and there is also the other issue the Turkish economy or economic ministry are taking to resolve their crisis. Even the last month, what the Turkish level was very low, but now this in June it's almost increasing. That's what Anadolu Post is said, almost increasing 7.6%. Even like the average, the index reached is almost 3.4%. So it shows like Turkish economy, it's day by day is gradually increasing. Of course the Turkey is facing the so much ups and down economic crisis system. In one day it's increasing, but the other day it's decreasing. So the crisis is ongoing, but also they are taking so many initiatives to tackle this problem and to tackle this crisis. And I believe like Turkey can find, or Turkey will find some possible solution to resolve their economic crisis.
Actually, especially when, for example, make a link between this title and the next title. When we talk, for example, about economic and touristic, I think that touristic plan, it can bring some money too and involve this crisis actually.
Yeah, of course, you are absolutely right, because Turkey, they are taking now, like 2 or 3 years ago, the Turkish security system, especially inside the security, before the military coup and after the military coup, the political turmoil or some instability makes Turkey to fall in this kind of economic crisis. But nowadays we see that Turkey day by day or gradually try to resolve this problem, resolve this kind of crisis. So when the Turkish inside security system or inside political system is going to be well and organized and more stable, then automatically so many tourists will come, because as we know that Turkey is the one of the best country in the world for tourist destination. For example, Turkey have Istanbul, Turkey have Antalya, Izmir, and so many ancient architecture and touristic place. So automatically the tourists, they want to come in a country where the security security measurement are perfect. So now Turkey is taking that kind of initiatives. Turkey is trying to make a more stable country, more stable security country, and in that way more tourists will come. And what you said already, it will of course it will include and it will increase the value of Turkish economy, and it of course the resolve the crisis what Turkey is facing for their economy.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, Islam, I think by this title, like we can see, like summer is coming. We are in June now, so I think it's like a season for touristic, for bringing the tourist in Turkey. Turkey, it's a good place, it's a beautiful country actually. So I think we have been recording 11% from foreigner, they will visit Turkey this summer. So do you think that this percentage is so high and it's bring a lot of benefits?
Yeah, of course, as we said recently, that Turkey is one of the best place in the world for touristic area. I mean, like as I said before, even if you see the picture, so if I'm not wrong, from maybe it's from Izmir or Antalya, the Turkey, they have everything. If you want to go to the mountain, you will find mountain areas in Turkey. If you want to go to the land of the moon, you will find Cappadocia in Turkey. If you want to go to the ancient and like historical places, you can find in like Istanbul or Şanlıurfa or those kind of places. If you want to go to the sea beach or like those kind of the vacation area, you will find Antalya, Izmir. So it means like Turkey is a touristic places. It's not, if anyone want to come or one country to get the more how I can say, like their feelings and their vacation spent out in a perfect places, I think Turkey will be that place for for any tourist. And of course, as you asked me, the Turkish tourist, in last year, like Turkish tourist came almost till this May what's the Turkish Turkish state, I mean Turkish statistic organization, they said it was almost 11 million. Now it's almost 12 million. It shows that 1 million people more came to the Turkey for touristic purposes. So it's increasing. As I told you before, like, you know, Turkey is going to be more stable, especially from security concern. You know, once upon a time, for example, 4 years ago or 5 years ago, people shows like there is some problems, especially instability, like bombing or those kind of stuff happened in Turkey. That makes it for tourists a little bit afraid to come in Turkey. But now the situation is totally changed. Now the Turkey's security is more stable. Now Turkey is very much giving priority for their touristic places, and they are giving so much caring for security concern. And for this reason, tourists are thinking, okay, we can go to the Turkey for touristic purposes. We can go to the places, the beautiful places in Turkey, and that's what we see. There's almost 12.5 million people or 8 million people came till the May of this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So now, Islam, we're going to focus on this title. Actually, it's so interested for us, like security forces nab 7 top Daesh terrorists. So in this case, actually, I'd like to ask you how is your vision, or how could you treat this case? Actually, I'm talking about terrorists in the whole world, but link it to this title. Do you have some details about it? What do you think about it? How is your vision about Daesh terrorists?
Thank you so much, Ms. Aisha. I just want to explain something about the Daesh. You know, as we talk before, even also the Daesh, they are terrorist organization, one of the most terrible terrorist organization in the world, who are raising or who demanded Khilafah, or some places in Syria and Iraq. That's what they said, according to the mostly academic and also the newspaper, the ISIS, or like ISIL, the Islamic State, or whatever that. But in Turkey, they said they introduced them as a Daesh rather than because they are using Islam to back up their terrorist activities. However, you know, this terrorist organization, the whole world, whatever there or anybody have a touch with this organization, the specific government, they are taking initiatives against this kind of or terror organization, and Turkey is not exceptional on this issue. If you see this in news, the Turkish security forces, they almost arrested 7 top Daesh terrorists, because you know this, some people, and you should understand it, the Turkey is one of the most attacked by this terrorist organization Daesh. Almost 300 people killed, civilian people killed or murdered by this terrorist organization. And they used to do suicide bombing and the gun attacks in Turkey. Even if you see this in Istanbul airport, like Istanbul airport attack, in even also some areas attack was happened and attacked by Daesh, this terror organization. So Turkey is always taking those initiatives. Even if you link up like our first the previous news, the tourists are coming in Turkey, and for this reason even Turkey is taking care so many for the security concern, and they are not giving any single opportunity to this kind of terrorist organization, whatever it is, Daesh or PKK. So they are always taking zero tolerance for this kind of terror organization, for their own security, because it is matter of their national security. And as we see this, that they are arresting the top leaders or top person of the Daesh, who are coming from maybe from Syria or maybe from Iraq.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Actually, among the biggest event and biggest polemic that we have been recording during all this week is 2 attacks. It's like 2 bombs. They are not next to each other in Tunis. So, what's your vision and what's your opinion about this kind of attacks? Actually, do you think that terrorists affect this one? It's caused by this one.
If I'm not wrong, I just want to add something, before going to this attack. In Tunisia, the Tunisian regime change after the Ben Ali government, regime.
Actually, after the
revolution, we can say that that's what they said, the Arab Spring. After the Arab Spring, the Tunisia, they are saying, especially the Tunisian people, they are seeing the more freedom, more secure Tunisia. They feel like, okay, they will get more stable, more welfare country, more welfare economy, more welfare or more stable politics, and socio-culture will be more developed than their previous regime. But the fact what we are seeing now, there is a 2 bombing attack in there, and some some areas try to say this, some Salafist or is a group, they may have a link with this bombing attack. If we see, the Tunisia, they are coming, next election in very near story. So this kind of attack, it shows like maybe they have some message to the people, or maybe there is some issue behind this attack to message to the people, or to message to the general people, to make fear them about some those kind of Islamist group or terror group. Even also the smooth transition of the democracy. And if you see, when one bombing was attacked and happened in front of the France embassy, the near to the city center, and also another was happened to almost the whole area was the military zone.
But actually the attacks, I think it destinated for the policemen too.
Yes, exactly. They try to kill actually police. They try to kill actually police. Even whatever this the all general civilian died. two people almost died. Even more than.
It's like a symbolic action. It's like when I try to designate the policeman. It's like I try to touch the symbol of the government.
Exactly. They try to show that they have a power to attack the security forces of a Tunisian government or Tunisian country. And so this, if any terror organization, they can kill any security personnel of any country, it automatically shows to the people, and like, okay, the government is failed. They don't have a capacity to control, they cannot make the secure more secure our country.
Enough,
so maybe this terror, whoever did this, because till now nobody said like they did it, and whoever did it, they have a target to make actually appear to the people and also to the government. Like they try to show to the people like the government's capacity of security is very low. We can attack in any or whenever we want.
Yes, we hope that Tunisian government make a second plan and power plan for protect their government.
They are taking so much strong initiatives against
to empower the system for defense. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Islam, by this picture we see like the President Joko Widodo wins the election. So how is going the atmosphere of election there in Jakarta?
The Indonesia, they started their election process since April 2019, and now they announced that Joko, this Widodo, he elected in the election, and he got almost 55.5% vote in the election. And he was the even also previous president in Indonesia, and I hope so like that he will do much more welfare activities for Indonesian and make some more good atmosphere for Indonesian political stability.
Thank you so much. Actually, by this title, Islam, I'd like to ask you, on what basis this visit it bases on? Yani, for example, when we make some visit or meeting like that between Ramallah and the president of Chile, so it bases on what actually?
You see the Chilean president, he went to the Ramallah, Palestine, to meet with Mahmoud Abbas to talk on the Palestine issue. Actually, understand the situation, to understand this kind of scenario or political or international political scenario, we have to understand the diplomatic role, like why it is important. You know, this like the Chilean president, not even also only Chile president, in South America, like, you know, Venezuela or like Cuba, they're always talking about freedom or independence of Palestine, and or they are talking about the injustice what is, or oppression what is doing by Israel. So those kind of the diplomatic or like the top level of any country's statement or statesman visit to the Palestine or Ramallah, it's very important for Palestine. Even this in this situation or in this time, it is much more important. It gives so much importance for Palestinian independence, because, you know, he went to the Ramallah and meet with the Mahmoud Abbas. It shows like they are supporting, they have a soft corner, they are supporting to the Palestine and they are ignoring Israel. So those kind of issue, yeah, they have a really political objectives, they have a political goals, rather than what we are seeing, this only diplomatic
just
trouble.
only diplomatic, or we can include in some place for social side or economic side.
Of course they have a like
because they affect each other, you know.
Yeah, of course they will. They have a target to make some economic relations, to make some business or trade. But, you know, in case of Palestine, the issue is not easy, like to talk on, like to make economy, to make a social culture. It's not that much easy. Rather, if any prime minister or like those kind of top level leader of any countries or top level administrators of any country went to Palestine, it means they are trying to support the political support what actually Palestine need in the time. They are getting political support by this, you know, this kind of visit by the top level of statesmen. So this kind of issue, I can rather say, I can ensure this kind of trouble, it gives much more importance for political importance rather than, you know, economy and socio-cultural facts.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
So Islam, during all this week, we have seen actually the new details about the reports of the murder of Khashoggi. Do you have some these new details actually?
Yeah, the new details again to talk on the journalist Jamal Khashoggi's murder. I just want to mention, you know, the Jamal Khashoggi, he was murdered actually last year in Saudi embassy and
in Turkey.
In Turkey, you know, in Saudi consulate in Istanbul. So or like it gives a huge importance and huge how I can say, like the whole world talk about this issue, like how he was died. And even, you know, this the Turkish security forces, they provided the available and the how I can say, so many evidence that it shows like there is a very top level of Saudi administrators, they were involved with this murder of Jamal Khashoggi. And now United Nations they announced the same things. United Nations officials, even they said like, okay, Saudi government, they have a connection to kill the Jamal Khashoggi. So it shows like, even also they specifically mention the name of the Saudi Arabia you know, crown prince Mohammed bin Salman. He actually ordered to kill or to murder the Jamal Khashoggi. So this is the actual fact, like what the United Nations said, that so whole Saudi officials knows about this and they kill this. And, you know, this according to even international law, even the Saudi Arabian law, is totally against the law. It's total injustice what happened with the Jamal Khashoggi. And that's what actually United Nations said. And they said like they will they just make investigation and they find this, like, okay, there is so many top officials of Saudi Arabia have involved with this murder.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So Islam, like we seeing now by this video, is like actually it's a meeting for an organization. So I'm wondering about what's the effect of its organization in America.
Actually, those organizations, they are the rights group. They are talking about the Muslim ban. This is almost 1 year what the Trump administration take decision against Muslims and some Muslim countries. Including like Somalia, Sudan, and almost seven like Iran, Iraq, Syria, like 7 Muslim countries. They said like those countries people citizen cannot come in USA. So they said like this kind of Muslim ban has huge impacts on the families, Muslim families. Nowadays, like if any students want to go for high study in USA, if they come back, for example, if he is a citizen of Iran or if he is a citizen of Somalia, if he back to his country, then he cannot go back again to USA, even if he has a legal resident permit, because this USA administration or Trump administration make a like a ban for this country's citizen. So whatever, if you have a legal documents, you cannot move again to the USA. This kind of and what this kind of rights group said, even those kind of decision, it has a huge impact on also families. Like some families, they cannot now back to their countries, like Sudan's or like those Syrians or those family who are living in USA, they cannot back to their country, because if they back, they cannot go again to the country. Even other, if what we see, like that's what we talk with our some news from Anadolu Post, like some people, immigrants or irregular immigrants are dying in border of USA. So all kind of things is like they have it has a really huge impact on the family bondings, because because if they make this kind of ban, the one part or one member of the family cannot go back to their country, cannot meet with their family who are living in their country, I mean in banned country. So that's the issue the rights group try to focus. The Trump administration, what they did is really bad things for the history of the USA.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you to be with us today. Thank you for your attention. Our weekly news today is finished. I hope that you always follow us, always on Natural TV, Ankara, Turkey, living the actuality of the whole world. Salam.